Christine.
And welcome to Haircolor Confessional. Today we have Mr. Bryan Weatherford with us on the podcast. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about him. It's a long list, guys, so just hang in there. He's the Director of Member of Recruitment for Greater Arlington Chamber of Commerce. He was the host and executive producer of Biz TV, owner of All In Promotions. He does event planning, nonprofit consulting, public speaking, event marketing, Emcee for all things, especially nonprofits. Yes. He's helped groups raise more than $7 million in Emcee Auctioneer to date. Welcome, Bryan.
That's awesome.
I'm worn out. Hey, ladies. Well, thank you both for having me here today. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Kind of anxious to see what this direction is going to go. Like you mentioned there, I used to host one of these things. I was always in that chair.
Yes.
And now I'm in this chair.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a little different.
We're interviewing you.
I know. It's a little intimidating because I don't know what's coming. Y'all do. So
we were talking earlier about where we're from and where we were raised, and we have something in common that we're both from Arlington,
we are
Texas.
from Arlington. I was born there long before you arrived, but trust me. But
I got there in first grade.
Okay. Well, even then, I was probably in college when you were in first grade. But yeah, Arlington, Texas, I love it still. And as she mentioned, I'm with the Greater Arlington Chamber of Commerce today.
I had no idea. I guess I need to be a part of it since I work at a salon in Arlington.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
I need to be a part of your group.
We'll talk off the air.
Absolutely.
And it's funny because I am from Arlington, and when I got this gig, and I was introduced to the board of directors, and I'd been a member of the chamber for 20 years, but I told them, I said, I know most of you, and most of you know me, and you know me at all, I've always been selling Arlington, and I look forward to getting paid to do it. So it's a good match.
Yeah. Well, there's so many things in Arlington. I mean, you've got football and baseball and Six Flags and the water parks and music, entertainment.
I could go on and on about Arlington. It's really unique because Arlington now has 6 professional sports teams, and a lot of people don't realize that.
Wow, I had no idea.
So you've got, of course, the Cowboys and the Rangers.
Yes.
Right.
And then the Dallas Wings, which is WNBA women's basketball.
Oh, that's
right.
Oh, yeah.
And then the entire XFL football league, owned by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, is based in Arlington, Texas. The old Ranger Stadium.
I didn't know that.
And the Arlington Renegades, which is their team in that league, just won the whole league. And then also in that old baseball stadium, there's a professional rugby team and a professional soccer team.
Wow.
6 pro teams in Arlington.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know where we're going to be.
Well, I'm a Fort Worth girl, so I'm like, what's there to do in Arlington? I don't know. Wow. Except for all the pro games. Yeah, I totally go there for all the pro games.
Now, I have to admit, I am an Arlington girl, so I'm going to step it up here. I went to Ditto Elementary. I went to Young Junior High.
Nice.
I am a Martin High School girl. I went to Ogles. In Arlington, and I also graduated from UTA. So
you are an Arlington girl.
I am an Arlington girl all the way. Now,
And
I do live in Fort Worth now, and I do support the community, but I work in Arlington.
I'm the same thing. I live in Fort Worth now. I obviously support Arlington. And as I mentioned, I'm a little older than you because all the schools you mentioned, I went to school with the guys that your schools were named after.
I know, like James Martin, yeah.
It's not quite that bad, but yeah.
Yeah, I know.
That's funny. Okay, so what is your favorite thing about emceeing?
Oh my! I've always talked on a microphone. I've named myself Monkey with a Microphone, and I've just always had a gift to gab talking, and I like to talk a lot. And I think a big part of it is because, like you two, I've been to so many events before, and they'll get someone up there that's not comfortable talking, and it's just not good for anybody. It's not fun, and they're nervous, and it's just all disjointed. So I like that part, and a bigger part I like is on the auctioneering side that we can get into later, but I do only do live auctions only for nonprofit groups to help them raise money.
Okay, all right.
Now, do you do these nonprofit organizations? Do you do them all over Texas, all over Tarrant County?
Yeah,
all over
mostly
Dallas?
obviously here in Tarrant County, but I'll skew over to Dallas. I've done a couple events in Houston. Actually, I have another one coming up in here in Houston pretty soon. It's kind of interesting in that I'll get a lot of events from somebody that's at an event, and they'll hear me, and afterwards they'll say, "Oh my gosh, can you come do our event?"
There you go.
And so it's
you're your best advertisement.
Every event's a sales call.
Yeah, there you go.
And that's how I met you through Alliance for Children.
Oh, well, that's the bingo event.
Yes.
Bingo
Love
event.
that event. And it's in Arlington now. Hadn't always been, but it has been the last 2 years.
So this will be my 4th year to be chair of the bingo event.
Good for
and
you.
we volunteer our services, and it's just such a great event.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I take a lot of pride in, and Alliance for Children is a perfect one. I don't want to just show up and do an event, and if some of them I get paid, some of them I don't, but I'm not just there to get a check. And I'll go meet with the event beforehand. And so they were so nice, the Alliance for Children people, to take me on a tour of the facilities. And when you get when you get that part of it, and you learn the mission behind the nonprofit and why they're raising money and everything, it just, for me anyway, it makes it more than just a gig. It you realize this is a big deal.
Yeah.
And so give it your all. And so that's a great one. I'm glad you're associated with it.
Absolutely. I was I had gone to UTA, and we had done a group project, and Alliance for Children was on the list. And so we did a tour, and then I just volunteered my services. And I'm on the bingo committee. And at that point, I didn't really know a lot about Alliance for Children. I didn't know about their services. I didn't know how they were advocates for children advocacy. They work with the schools and the city. So I just didn't know a lot about it until I started volunteering. Back to Blue, there's a back to school program, there's a Christmas program that they do. And then once I got involved, I really realized there was a need for volunteers. And so I just, I volunteer my time.
The neat ones that I enjoy working with are the ones that have such a dedicated base of volunteers or supporters. One thing I want to get out, but I don't know how we're going, but everybody needs to work with nonprofits. But so many people think they're just looking for money, and that's true, but there's so much volunteer opportunities. They just want time.
Right.
But they want expertise.
Right. I don't get paid for my volunteer work, but I do volunteer quite a bit. I do stress, even on my committee, that we need to volunteer even for Alliance for Children because there is such a need.
Absolutely.
And these children just need advocacies, to help them.
Well, it's a good group, and it's one of many out there, and I've been honored to work with a bunch of them. We could go on and on. I got a lot of stories.
Absolutely.
A lot of stories on that end.
We have,
that's
we volunteer for lots of stuff and lots of nonprofits, and we're totally supportive of.
Don't you agree? Everybody should do that.
Everyone should do that. Yes, it's fun and it makes you feel good, and it's good for your community.
Absolutely.
So I have a question for you.
Okay.
What is the craziest moment in Emcee auctioneering that you've ever something crazy that's happened?
No, this is crazy, and I'll clean the language up for your podcast. Okay.
All right.
This is by far the craziest moment.
Okay.
I was working with a group here in town, the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation.
Okay.
Now say that 6 times real fast.
Ooh.
So the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation, and we did a very unique. Bingo is a pretty unique event. This one may have been just as unique. It was a Texas Hold'em poker tournament.
Oh, nice.
Held inside of the TX Whiskey Distillery when they were here on Vickery on a Saturday morning. And so we had, 140 poker players, poker tables everywhere, and we're there to play poker to raise money for Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. Full bar, it's all open, the whole bit. Whiskey barrels all around.
Drinking and poker.
Drinking and poker, okay? To make it even better, the mayor at the time, Betsy Price, would show up to kick off the event, and I'd get to introduce her and say, folks, only in Fort Worth, Texas, can you have a poker tournament inside of a whiskey distillery, and the mayor is here to kick it off. So we're doing our poker deal, and all these guys are drinking and playing poker and having a good time. Most even don't even know why they're there. They just, poker, man, I'll play poker. So we're doing the poker tournament. We take a break about noon. It'd been going for a couple of hours, and a lot of this going on.
Yeah.
And I wanted to introduce a young lady to give her testimony. She had cystic fibrosis, a brutal disease, and she was maybe 25 years old, which is very old, unfortunately, for someone with cystic fibrosis. So I get her up there and I introduce her. Hey guys, we're going to take a break. Let's hear from, I can't remember her name, but let's get her up here and hear what she has to say. Well, let's just suffice it to say, she doesn't have a voice like any of us, because that's what the disease. So she's up there talking, and you can barely hear her. And these guys are out there, and they're getting restless, and they're looking around, and then they're talking to each other, and nobody's listening to what she has to say, except this big cowboy sitting right in the middle, this big cowboy. And he's leaning in to hear her, and he's looking at these guys, and he's getting upset, and he finally stands up. And he stands up, 6'5", the hat, the whole bit. And again, I'm going to clean it up, but he starts yelling. He goes, hey, listen up. We can play poker any blank time we want to, and today we're playing poker for that little girl up there, and we're going to hear what she has to say. And if you don't want to hear what she has to say, then you get your blank out here in the parking lot, and I guarantee you don't want to hear what I had to say. So shut the blank up, and let's hear what she has. And you could hear a pin drop. And he sits back down. Then he jumps up again, and he goes, if you hadn't bought a raffle ticket yet, you get your hand up right now. Get these raffles. I was so scared, I bought 3. So the room was totally quiet, and he was cussing right and left on this thing. I totally appreciated his sentiment. The language was a little dicey. And I don't, to this day, don't know who that guy was. But when the poker was all over, he ended up winning like $2,000 or something. And he came up to me because he recognized me because I was on stage a lot. And he goes, hey, I don't want this money. This is for that little girl. Y'all did a good thing today. That was a great moment. And off camera, I'll give you the full unedited version of this. But he made a very valid point.
That's awesome.
There's my answer.
Great.
Wow.
Well, I was thinking there might have been like a fight over a trip or something.
Okay.
Like, I got that. No, you got that. No, I got that. No.
I've got that one then. So most events we go to, and we've all been to plenty of them, they'll have a live auction and they'll have a silent auction. And so nowadays, silent auctions for the most part are on your phone. You're bidding on your phone.
Right.
But old school, it's a clipboard.
Yeah.
And so I write up and I put, Brian, $200. And he said, oh, Angela, $210.
Yes.
I said, well, Brian,
back and
$220.
forth,
back and forth. So they got down to the end of one, and ironically, it was for some autographed Mike Tyson boxing gloves. And so this guy's got them. We're counting down 5, 4, and this guy comes out of nowhere, knocks him out of the way to overbid him. And then they're literally in a fist fight to win the boxing gloves, which was kind of ironic. So I took it on myself at that time. We got them separate. I said, here's what we're going to do, guys. It's a silent auction, but now we're going to live auction, and it's just you two. And I'm no microphone, no stage. I'm just standing there going, he's at $600. You want to go to $650? $650. You want to go to $700? And just between those two, we did it. But they were literally on the floor fighting over who's going to get the boxing gloves.
My
so
goodness.
Is that more the kind of story you were looking for?
I love that.
Yes.
Okay, can you give us a little bit of an example of how you do your auction?
I'm glad you asked that because I got into it because I've been going to these auctions a long time, like all of us. And a lot of times they'll bring in your traditional auctioneer, which is very impressive. But what happens at these nonprofit events is if you don't buy cows for a living, you can't keep up, and you don't know what's going on. But even more so, the people in the audience get intimidated, and they're afraid. Oh my gosh, what's going on? And they're afraid they're going to scratch their nose and buy a trip to Cabo. They can't afford, so they sit on their hands and they don't do anything. Well, that doesn't do anybody any good. And so I'm like, okay, I got a plan. So I'm more like a wannabe comedian. I can talk fast, but I'm more entertaining, and I kind of play people off of each other. I say, all right, we got 15 over here. Look, I got 2,000 over here. Now 2,500. Like, sir, they're ganging up on you. They're putting their money together. You get your own group together, and we'll buy this trip. We'll get this condo, and it just works. So it's more of a not the fast. Very much respect for those auctioneers, guys and gals, but
because you are right. You do go some of these events, and then it's just kind of stagnant, and it's not going. You got to know
your audience.
No, and I'm sticking up my
paddle,
and I'm like, hey, I can do it for 200.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Oh, I can do it for 500.
You
but
don't.
Then when you
get
to 5,000
you don't want me selling cows, and you don't want me selling cars. But that's not what I do. But you do want me raising money for nonprofits, and I'll put myself up against anyone on that.
So I was telling, I don't know if I told you this or not, but I was like, the next time I go to one of those auction things, I'm just going to be the first bidder on everything.
There you go. We love you. You're the jackrabbit. We call you the jackrabbit.
I'm going to start it off. Because I know I won't win, but I can start it off.
No,
be a leader.
Start it off. Well, that's it. I mean, you just got to start them off, and then it's like 200. It's worth 500.
Yeah.
And there's something that's always going to go ahead of you.
Now, you might get stuck, but for the most part, you won't.
I don't think I would ever get stuck being started off.
I'll tell you what's fun at auctions is to watch people. They're sitting at the table and they're getting all excited. And I'm like, all right, ma'am, you're in at 500, looking for 60 million. And then she bids again. I'll go, okay, now you're at 6. They overbid themselves because they get so excited. But the best part is, and I've had it happen more often than not, a husband and wife start bidding against each other.
Oh, my goodness.
Because they don't realize.
They don't realize they're doing it.
I don't say anything because I'm there to raise money. So I just, hey, y'all, keep going.
Okay, so when was the first time you were on video, on the camera?
For my show or just in general?
Just in general.
My background in the theme park business. So I was with Wet n Wild. You'll remember Wet n Wild.
Yes.
Hurricane Harbor used to be Wet n Wild.
Okay, that's dating you a little bit.
So I know it is. But I was the PR marketing guy for them. Going back before that, I worked for Putt Putt golf courses. So I was on television as a spokesperson talking about here's what's coming up at Wet and Wild, or season passes are now on sale, etc. One of the cooler things I did, I was a PR guy for 4 years for Busch Entertainment Corporation. So Anheuser-Busch used to own SeaWorld and Busch Gardens and everything. And this is really cool. I would get to fly around the state on an airplane with penguins, live penguins.
Oh, how cool is that?
Pete and Penny. I'll show you a picture later.
Oh my
So it was
goodness.
me and Pete and Penny and their trainer. And so we would fly on Southwest Airlines planes. Have you all ever seen the planes that are painted to look like Shamu? It looks like a big killer.
Yes.
So we would get on, this is all before 9/11, things have changed.
Yes.
But we'd be on the plane and they'd have reserved seats up front that's Pete and Penny. And we made them, the seats that face each other, we made them ride backwards because I get sick flying backwards on a plane. So the penguins would be in those seats. And then we would go and go take SeaWorld to Abilene, Texas.
With these penguins.
And with penguins. And so I would go on the 5:30 a.m. Farmers Report in Abilene, Texas, to talk, and the penguins come out. It was a big deal at the time. Penguins don't usually show up in Odessa. And so the penguins come out, and basically, I can say this now, we would use the penguin. Nobody cares the sales guys come on to you. You got penguins? Yeah, you come on in.
Yeah.
So, well, Bryan, who are these? Oh, this is Pete and Penny. They're Magellanic penguins, 2 of the 416 species of animals at SeaWorld of Texas in San Antonio, opening a week from Saturday, and then we would just use them to do that. So I talked on TV then. Oh, thank you to Pete and Penny Penguin for getting me on.
That is funny.
Goodness.
And it's just progressed ever
Oh,
since.
yeah, and look at me now, and now I'm on your podcast. I've reached the top.
Okay, so tell us about the Biz TV.
Yeah, Biz TV, it was cool. It was a really neat company based in Arlington, right on Abrams Street. And the surprising thing is the whole corporate headquarters are right there, but they weren't even on the air in this market. They're in 38 markets across the country. And then they started doing stuff here locally. And a friend of mine was doing it originally, it was radio. And then they got into Facebook Live, which was a big thing. And I would come on frequently as a guest for 2 reasons. One, I know Arlington, I know a lot of stories and stuff, but more importantly, they'd have trouble finding guests, so they'd call me. So that was the bigger reason I was brought in as a guest. So I was a guest several times. And then they transitioned, and it's going to be a full-blown TV show. Mm-hmm. And so the guy who was the host at the time took a new job with the Arlington Music Hall, which is an old movie theater downtown. They do concerts and stuff. You know,
very familiar with it.
And so he took that job, and they didn't have a host anymore. So the owners called me in on a Friday and said, hey, Bryan, Mark got a new job. I said, yeah, he's running the music hall. That's great. And they said, yeah, but we have a talk show without a host. Do you want to do it? And I said, well, but I've got too much going on. I don't have the bandwidth. I can't. I don't have enough time, but thank you. And they said, well, could you think about it over the weekend? Because we're going to have you in Monday as a guest, and we could talk some more. I said, sure. So I come in on Monday to be Bryan the guest. So I'm sitting over here on the guest field. The cameras come up, and the host said, hey, welcome to the show today. Oh, look, here's our guest. You know Bryan. He's been on the show several times. He's funny. He knows everybody in Arlington. And get a good look at Bryan, because I just took a new job with the music hall. Bryan's going to be the new host. He'll be right back with his first guest. And the cameras go dark. I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, dude, I got to go. I got a meeting. And he's out of there. And so the producer said, okay, we got a minute.
They roped you in.
They roped me in. I had to switch seats, and there I go. And it just kind of worked out.
And it blossomed from there.
And I interviewed over 3,200 people.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I knew it had been over 3,000 people that you had interviewed.
Yeah.
And it seems like you have interviewed everyone.
it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it, and for the most part, I was interviewing small business owners.
Yeah. Seems like there was interior decorators,
government officials. I mean, any profession you can name.
Anything and everyone.
Well, as y'all have learned doing your thing, everybody has a story.
Yeah.
Right.
And a lot of times they don't realize that, but you get people like yourself that are able to let them, everybody who I used to always tell the guests, who knows you better than you? You can't screw it up. It's your story.
That's true.
You can't screw up your own story.
That's true.
Right.
I'm not going to ask you what the capital of Columbia is. I'm going to say, tell me about you.
Yeah.
And so it's neat where people were able to do that. And it's neat to be able to be in a position, just like the two of you, to help people. I always say, all I'm going to do is lob softballs and let you knock them over the fence. So
right.
That's the way it works.
Yeah, as hairstylists, we talk to our clients
All
every
the time.
day. You have 8 to 10 clients a day, and we're having we're interviewing, we're talking, we're building relationships.
That's good.
And that's what it's all about.
That's exactly what it's all about.
So did you have a favorite guest on your show?
That's
or
a good question.
several?
Probably a couple. One, and I don't know if you ever had this professor at UTA, his name's Dr. Alan Sachs.
Yes.
And he's a political science. He's
Yes.
been with UTA forever. I had him at
He's
UTA.
got a park named after him.
He does. He has a lot of stuff
got a
named
lot of
after him.
stuff.
He's got
Yeah.
the baseball field for UTA
Yes.
named after him. And he's just a great guy. He's a little bitty guy, and he's kind of Woody Allen looking, but he's a legend. And if Arlington ever has a Mount Rushmore, I mean, obviously Tom Vandergrift, but I think Dr. Sachs will be right there too. So I had him as a guest, and it was really fascinating. I was, oh wow, I got Dr. Sachs. This is cool. I said, wow, he's been around forever. I had him in 1980. I had him for a class. He must have just started. No,
And he taught history, right?
he started political science.
Oh, it's political science.
And
okay.
I thought maybe that was his first year, 1980. We started to get, no, he started in 1966.
Wow. How old was he when you interviewed him?
When I interviewed him, he was early 70s.
Okay.
And still going strong and still there. But he was just a legend. So I think with an Arlington-based show, he's my favorite guest.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Okay,
absolutely.
Yeah.
I had no idea. Wise one.
Yeah, he was something. It was very, very fun.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay, what's your next big event?
The next one I'm doing, I just did a neat one last night. I don't want to date the show or anything.
no,
but
go ahead.
Recently, I just did an event last night. First of all, the venue's cool. It's the C.R. Smith Flight Museum out on 360 in Arlington. Technically, it's Fort Worth, but it's where all the American Airlines stuff is.
Okay.
And it's a
that's
flight
right.
museum
I haven't been
Yes.
there.
It
I went
had-
to a wedding there.
with a big airplane sitting
Yes.
right in the middle of the room.
That's awesome.
And so we had this event. It's the fourth year that I've worked with these people. I had this event there. Big airplane, this size, a sit-down dinner, linen tablecloths, the whole bit. And we did the live auction and awards and everything. On the other side of the airplane was a full-blown casino night
Wow, that's
that
cool.
we did for Dental Health Arlington is the
Okay.
name of the group.
Okay.
Okay.
Great organization.
Yeah, that's a awesome venue.
So it's a really, really cool venue. So that was the last one I did. The next one I have coming up is, I have to think through this. I think it's for a big Catholic organization down in Houston. So I get
Okay.
to go down to
You get to
Houston,
Houston?
and do that again, which
So-
is fun.
Do you fly on a private jet?
Yeah, I fly in my private car down. Actually, I take my wife's car because she has a better car, and so I go down to Houston and do that there. But it's a lot of fun, and that one came about because a meeting planner that I've done a lot of events for in Arlington is from Houston, and she got that gig, and she goes, "I got an auctioneer,"
There you go.
and so I'll
How
be in.
far will you go?
Well, you know, how big's the paycheck?
Right.
I have a friend of mine who I worked with a long time ago at Wet n Wild, and she owns a PR agency in Las Vegas, of all places, and works with a lot of nonprofits.
Well, you'll go there without payment.
I would go there. I said, and I've told her, I said, I would love to come work with you because she's seen me do stuff and know I enjoy doing it. And I said, I'll come out there. You just pay expenses for me and my wife to come to Vegas and no charge. Because I know she can get the hotel and everything free.
Yeah.
So I hope to be able to do that.
Yeah, that's nice. That's awesome.
I love it. All right, so I got to know something personal.
Something personal?
What's your favorite vacation?
Well, we just talked about, I love to go to Las Vegas.
Yeah,
I've been going to
that's
Las
it.
Vegas a lot.
Vegas.
My whole life.
Do you like to gamble or do you like to watch shows? Or you
Both
like-
now, and Vegas is different for me now. Yeah, there was a time when Vegas was a little different, but now I love to go to Vegas with my wife Pam, and we've been going since we've known each other. And it's neat because I'd already been to Vegas a lot, but it's kind of cool.
It has changed over the years.
Well, it has changed over the years, but also I don't have any kids, and you always hear people talking about how neat it is to see something through your children's eyes that you've been seeing forever. Now it's new to them. That's the way I was with Pam when we'd go to Vegas, and she'd been before, but I'd been a ton.
Right.
And we'd go by something I'd walk past 100 times and never noticed it, and she thought it was really cool, and I could stop and say, you know, that is pretty cool, and it's just a different thing. And so now all I do when I go to Vegas from a gambling, I play poker.
Okay.
And I love to play poker. We could go up poker all you want, but I play poker because that's the one game to where you're actually in control.
Yeah.
And you're not playing against the house. You're playing against other people.
Yeah.
So I like to play poker in Vegas, but I do love to eat. I do love the shows. I do love to people watch, and it's a little bit of everything.
Yeah, when I go, I'm not a big gambler. So when I go, let's see, the last time I went to go see Celine Dion, Red Hot Chili Peppers, and a couple others, and we just had a blast.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what turned me around. I used to go out there and I'm like, oh my God, I got to gamble all the time. I got to gamble. So my friends were going to go play golf. I like to play golf, and they were going to play golf. And at the time, it was $150. It's way much more now, but I'm $150 to play golf. That's stupid. Y'all go ahead. I'm going to stay here. And then I realized, wait a minute. You go play golf. You got to get to the golf place. You go play golf. You come back. It's 5 hours. for $150. Meanwhile, I'm trying to stay at a blackjack table for 5 hours for $150. Golf looked really cheap after I saw that. So it was a big change.
Yeah.
I do everything but gamble when I go to Vegas.
Okay. Well, my wife's the same way. She loves Vegas. I really think she loves it because she knows I love it, but she likes it. But she's a vegan. She doesn't eat meat. She doesn't drink. She doesn't gamble, and she loves it because she likes to people watch.
There's so many different things to do.
So many things to do.
And the hotels are beautiful. I love the Wynn. I love the Bellagio.
Well, our favorite time of year to go, we usually go at Christmas time. We go Christmas time for a couple of reasons. One, if you go the right time towards the end of the year, it's very inexpensive to go because if you want to see Celine Dion, she ain't there.
Right.
All the shows are dark.
Right.
But they still got these hotels to fill up.
Yes.
So the hotel rates drop. The airfare drops. And we'll go out there then, but the main thing we like is all the hotels are decked out for the holidays.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be Bellagio.
Gorgeous.
Bellagio's always Bellagio. But holiday season,
it's over the top.
Everybody wants to be Bellagio.
And the Wynn is over the top.
All of them are.
Yeah.
Even the ones off the strip.
Right.
We'll get a car and drive to the local places. And they're all gorgeous and they're all fun, and we totally dork out and wear different ugly Christmas sweaters every day. And it's fun doing it, and there's no gambling involved.
Yeah, I've never been there for Christmas. I've been there for New Year's.
You need to do it. Yeah, New Year's is a different
New Year's
deal.
is a
You
whole
got to leave
different
before
deal.
New, because then the prices go back to here.
Right.
So if you can leave come home, we'll go the day after Christmas and come back on the day before New Year's Eve, and it's a bargain.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I have been as a kid, because we used to live in Arizona for a short period of time. So I went as a kid, being dragged along with my parents. And then as a young adult, and then I even got married in Las Vegas. And then, even as an adult.
I got married in Vegas too.
Y'all both got, wait, did Elvis do it? Anybody get married by Elvis?
That would have been a lot more fun, but.
Wait, did Elvis marry me?
I didn't get married by Elvis, but I did get married in Vegas. And
I don't think Elvis married me.
Did y'all, okay, now I'm turning into interview guy. I knew this would happen. But just real quick, did you know before you went that you were going to get married there? Or was this a middle of the night drinking thing?
Wedding in Vegas.
That's good.
Yeah, and mine was planned too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Although it might have taken me a little bit just to sign that document, but
There
was like 20 people that went with us on the plane to our wedding. So, we had my dad walking down the aisle. It was a traditional wedding in Vegas.
Yeah.
But it didn't stick. So,
Well, I wouldn't blame that on Vegas.
As traditional
Vegas
weddings.
Well, there's a lot of components, not just for the wedding.
I think it'd be fun, to drive up in the drive-thru and get married. I think that would be fun.
That's certainly an option.
There you go. That is an option. That's definitely an option in Vegas. Okay, so now we're going to talk about products.
Yes.
What did you bring today for your beauty product?
I didn't know what this, because I certainly don't want to. Obviously, I'm not endorsing anybody. I'm thinking if anybody ever wanted me to endorse a product, they would give me their competitor's product and say, tell them you use this. So,
right.
But I recently had cataract surgery. So I used to wear glasses, these big glasses and everything. But I had cataract, and it's great. I mean, I couldn't for 7 months. Driving with me at night was just a death wish. I would tell everybody, hey, if you're out, Angela, and you had a few too many, don't call me for a ride. You're better off driving. So I finally got my cataracts, and it was instantaneous. I could see like an eagle now and everything. And so I didn't have to wear my glasses. And as soon as I quit wearing my glasses, the first thing I noticed was, wait, I've got bags. Where did this come from? Because she couldn't see them with the glasses. So I'm one of these internet guys that finds stuff, or inevitably, and I'm sure we've all been through it, the ads seem to find you. All of a sudden they pop up.
All you have to do is say something to your phone, and it'll.
That's what happened. I'm upset about my bag. So anyway, this product pops up, and it's called, I don't know why it's named this. It's called Disco. All right. And it's this it's just a little
packaging.
It's nice packaging, and it's just a little thing, and it's got a little ball bearing. It's a roller deal, and you roll it under your eyes.
Okay. Oh, that is so neat.
I don't know that it's working, but I was a victim of marketing. But it's kind of neat, and it feels cool, and I don't know if it tightens
it up
sensation.
Or what, and maybe it's just psychosomatic. So in my mind, my bags are smaller, but I don't know. So that's my product I brought.
All right, Disco.
It's a little Disco ideal.
There you go.
Love it.
I'm certainly open to suggestions, though, to get rid of these bags.
Well, it looks like it's working.
Maybe. I don't know.
You're glowing.
Am I glowing? It's
well, the little roller ball always feels cool underneath your eye.
It's got a cool sensation
metal,
to it.
So even when the bottle's empty, I can still use it because I'll have the cool.
You'd be like, ooh, it's still working.
That'll save me a lot of money.
I think it has something to do with the blood vessels in there. I think it calms them down or something.
Well, that's what they do. If you ever, y'all probably don't watch boxing. I like boxing too.
But they put the ice
cold
pad on
thing
it.
on your heel.
Compressors.
Yeah.
On
Maybe
it.
that's it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna have to buy some of that.
So that's my product. What is this? Is that for my eyes?
So no, this is Nimi. All right, this is like a toner. So it's for normal dry skin. It hydrates and nourishes. It tones and refreshes. Softens and conditions. And so I use this as a toner. So I clean my skin, and then after I clean my skin, I use it with just like a cotton pad to make sure there's no more debris left on my face. And then I put moisturizer on. But this is just a toner, which most men probably don't use this.
I was going to ask.
It's like an extra thing that women use.
It lowers the pH in the skin.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't know.
It makes sure your skin is completely ready for the moisturizer.
Yeah. That's it. But I say both of you, whatever you do, keep doing it. I'll just say that.
Thank you.
All right. So I've got this cute little bottle. It's called Sassy. It's cuticle oil.
All right.
And so I have, with our hands always being in the water, shampooing
or chemicals
all the time and chemicals and stuff, my hands stay really dry. And so I like using this for my cuticles. I do it for my toes and I do it for my fingers.
And do you rub it in? And
and then you just rub it in and it just, it's pretty good. I got a big bottle of it too.
So it looks like that would last a while.
It'll probably last
a little
me for
bit goes a long way.
Yeah, probably 3 to 6 months.
So is it oily? Can you drive your car
you want
afterwards?
to try it?
Yeah, I'm game. Give me a shot.
Yeah, put some on his.
I'll go get. Actually, I need a manicure, and I always notice I'll go back and
then
get
just
my car,
rub it in.
and I go to.
And you can use that to rub on your other hands too. Look.
Yeah. Oh, I see.
And it smells good too.
Yeah. A little bit goes a long ways. And
what's it called again? Sassy.
Sassy. Yep. Just cuticle oil.
So you go online or what? Where do I find this?
Yeah. They have it at multiple, different stores.
Okay, this is kind of cool. So have you tried other ones, and why did you go to this route?
Yeah, I like the bottle.
Okay,
I like the size of the
bottle. As a lifelong marketing guy, I love that.
I do. I like the bottle. I like that it's big. I like that I can just put it on my nightstand and then think about it, at night, because I do it at night and I do it in the morning as well.
Oh,
after
so
I take
then
my
when you
showers.
wake up in the morning with nice.
Yeah, because my skin is just so dry.
You wake up in the morning with nice oily pillows.
Yes.
No, it soaks right in.
No, it does soak right in. But I also do it to my toes too, because it seems like, when we wear flip-flops and sandals.
Every day. I use that every day. Not that brand, but that oil.
Yeah.
Well, it's a big industry.
Yeah. I know. So this is my product for the day.
Yep.
Very nice.
Awesome.
I love that, by the way, about your podcast. All the podcasts need to have a hook. I love that.
Right?
I really do.
There's so many different beauty products on the market. And there's so many different products that we use, that we like, that we try. Some we love, some we hate. So yeah, it's kind of fun talking about the ones that you like.
Sure.
Well, and everybody uses something different. Like, of course you'd use something different than me. She would use something different than me. We don't work together, so of course we're going to use different products.
Yeah, I use a different product line than you.
Yeah.
I'm open to new products, but we experiment. We go to different hair shows and we do different things, but I don't know.
It's funny, when I had my show, the guests would come in and they'd say, so do you have like makeup, hair and makeup? And I'm like, have you seen the show? If we had hair and makeup, would I look like this? No, we don't. So sit down and
yeah, we
smile.
do our own hair and makeup. But if anybody wants
as you should, y'all kind of do that.
If anybody wants to come in and do it for us, we'd be open to that.
Oh, that would be fun.
That would be fun.
Y'all should do a show where y'all do each other's hair.
Right? Let me put some curls in your hair. Let's throw some highlights in there.
I don't know, Brian. You're putting us to work some more.
Yeah, never mind. This is your day off. This is fun. Well, y'all make it fun.
We do. We really do. I mean, it is a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I do enjoy my work. I do.
Yeah. I treat mine like a hobby. I don't know about you, but I really do treat it like a hobby.
I work to play.
I've heard the comparison before to where hairstylists are like bartenders, and the people would just tell you stuff that they wouldn't just tell you. The same thing?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, secrets our clients tell their hairstylist.
Yeah.
Keeping secrets.
We do hear a lot of stuff.
I hope my hairstylist keeps my secrets secret. I'm just going to leave that there.
We don't drop names, And I mean, I think at one point in time I would journal, everything that my clients,
I never write anything down, Brian.
My clients that would tell me. But I mean, because it would be a great coffee book, a coffee table book. Yeah. It would be, because there's so many stories.
But do you get together with others in your profession and share stories?
No.
Not
Okay.
usually, no.
Not usually.
Okay.
I mean, it's like we all work together and talk while we're at work, and then everybody just scatters after.
Well,
Gotcha.
because there's a story after a story after a story, so you can't remember all the stories.
Yeah.
And some of them that really stick really good, it's like, oh, did you hear that one? Or, it has to be over the top.
Sometimes I write them down. I'm just like, I need to talk about that later.
She writes them down too.
I don't journal, but like since we've been doing this podcast, I have written some things down just so like in case I need to.
But I think over the years, there's some things that are like, oh, I wonder how that's going to go. Oh, I wonder how this is going to go. Or,
Well, it's even all the years I was in the theme park business, a little bit different though. We would work at different places in Arlington, and then we would all go to happy hour. But we get to talking and trading stories, and you'd have people from Wet and Water, from Six Flags, or from Lion Country Safari, or the Wax Museum, or whatever, and we start sharing stories that we could all relate to. And in our mind, we were writing, or at least in my mind, there's a lot goes on in my mind, but I was writing a movie. And the movie was going to be about people, not that went to theme parks as the guest, but that worked at theme parks. It's a whole different deal being on the other side of the fence. But the name of the movie is Minimum Wage, Maximum Fun.
There you go.
I love it.
So we'd share stories about the
you should do that.
dark
it could
side
be a
of
good
the theme park.
show,
But
like
I think people
like the
would find it
Walmart
interesting.
show, whatever that's called.
Because everybody's been to Six Flags, but did you ever wonder how they make the water blue?
Yeah. Oh,
right?
So
I don't know if I want to know that.
Yeah.
That
It's
type of thing.
interesting. When I went to Six Flags as a kid, my parents would just drop me off. But nowadays, you don't drop your kids
No,
off.
you can't do that. Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
It was a very,
drop
it was a
your
very,
kids off.
well, all the years I worked there, $50 was a pretty cheap babysitter for the summer.
Yes.
For the season pass.
Yes.
It was safe
Yes.
and
Yeah.
but now times are different and
Can't do it.
you can't do that.
Yeah.
Same as like Wet and Wild, that now it's Hurricane Harbor. It's
Right.
like, I remember
Well, see, I love
dropping my
amusement
kids
parks.
off.
So
Do you?
I would always get a season pass. When my kids were little, I would get a season pass and I would be like, we're going. Like we went once a week, like all summer long and even until they closed. Monday, because Monday was my day to go. We'll go. We'll even skip school. We'll go on Monday, And I'll ride everything, make my kids ride everything. They'll tell you they're totally traumatized because I made them ride all the rides. As soon as they were tall enough to ride it, they had to ride it at least once. And if they didn't like it, then they had to ride it again, but they had to ride
do
everything.
it once. Well, see, and on the other side, the people that work there, like all my life, my friends, hey, July 4th's coming up, man, what are you going to do? I'm like, well, I'm working. It's a busy day for us. Same with Memorial Day and Labor Day. It's a different. I always worked at the places that people wanted to go to when they were off.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a different perspective.
Yeah, I never worked at the places people wanted to go to. I just went.
I bet people like to have their hair done. People like to look good.
Absolutely.
That's true. Well, thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you.
on our podcast. Please tell everyone how they can find you.
Oh, well, if you needed to find me, just go to social media, and it's at B, like boy, Weather 4D. So like Weatherford, B Weather 4D. So that's on Facebook and Instagram, both. I'm pretty active on them. And that's the way some charity groups have found me from that too. Same thing with LinkedIn. It's Bryan with a Y, by the way. Bryan Weatherford. Joke there. I tell everybody, one man, two towns. Bryan, Texas, Weatherford, Texas.
There you go.
He's our funny guy.
One man, two towns.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming
Thank
on our
you both.
podcast.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
I'm Angela.
I'm Christine.
And thanks for watching Haircolor Confessional. Bye.
Bye.